might be some maybe well-intentioned misinformation circulating. So I wanted to just do a quick demo here to clarify how timers will react when you change them and contacts are already in that sequence. So I've set up a sample sequence here with a date timer, field timer, and a delay timer. And the next step is I'm going to add a couple contacts here. So let's add Zach Morris. And the field timer I'm using is the check-in date. So I just want to make sure that Zach has a value in that field. There it is. So we'll just use, the 26th. Okay, sometime later this month. And then we can add Zach to that campaign. So add to sequence. This is the Republishing Timers campaign, and there's only one sequence in there. Save. And then I'll do the same thing once this adds with Kelly Kapowski. Let's double check Kelly's field there to make sure that we have a check-in date, and I'll set hers for, late November. Save. And then we will also add Kelly to that same campaign, Republishing Timers, timer tests, save. And now in this campaign, we should see, once Kelly is added, we should see 2 active contacts hanging out, waiting for those different steps. So those emails, the first one should be scheduled on, date timer should be scheduled on October 31st for both of them. So let's verify upcoming items, date timer, October 31st. And then for Zach, date timer, October 31st. Okay, so we're all good there. Field timer should be 3 days before the value in that date that they have. So field timer, that's late November, because that is the value in that field for Kelly. And this one should be mid-October, field timer the 23rd for Zach. That looks accurate as well. And then delay timer should be the same for both of them, 7 days, and then run on a weekday at 8 a.m. So delay timer is October 17th, and that is October 17th for Zach as well. Now, here's where the confusion comes in. I can change the value in this field for Zach. So I can change this from the 26th to the 20th, right? So if we're looking at 3 days before, right now it is scheduled for the 23rd. But if I change this to the 20th, then we would expect that to change to the 17th, right? The field timer is scheduled off of the date in this field. However, the field timer value is fixed at the point that they enter this sequence, and it only changes if you remove the contact and re-add them. So like if I pull Zach out, for example, campaigns, timer tests, let's go ahead and remove Zach, and then we will re-add Zach to that republishing campaign. Here we go. So just quickly, I'll verify Zach has been removed, and then we are re-adding Zach. What we should see once that processes is that there are 2 emails, or there should be 2 emails now scheduled for the 17th, because that happens to be the date that the upcoming items, that the delay timer was going to run on, and now it is also the date that the field timer is going to run on. So like I said, the field timer value schedules based on the value of the field when the contact enters the sequence. However, the second condition, it does reschedule if the contact is removed and re-added, or if the campaign is republished. So now let's update Kelly's value here from November 22nd to December 22nd, right? So a dramatic shift. We can see just by updating it on the contact record, that does not change the date that the field timer is scheduled for. However, if I republish this campaign, So just make some sort of change, and then I republish here. When it republishes, it recalculates the, by the way, that says 3 because Zach has been in here twice. But if we go to current, you'll see there's still only 2. So when you republish a campaign, it reschedules the steps in that sequence based on the current information for those contacts. So because Kelly currently has December 22nd in her field, when we refresh, we should see this change to December 19th, okay, for the field timer. So let's go ahead and refresh this contact record. And then on the campaigns tab, we see December 19th, so 3 days before the updated date. So Kelly did not leave that sequence. We just republished the campaign. Now let's mess around with the other ones, which are a little more straightforward. So if there is a date timer, it's plain and simple. When you change that date timer, so it's October 31st, if I change it to the 27th, for Zach and Kelly, for anybody who is waiting in that sequence, when I republish, it will schedule the new step using the new date. So there we have it, republish, and then that was the date timer. So when I refresh this page, it should be the 27th. Got to go back to the campaigns tab. Date timer, October 27th, and then obviously for Kelly, that would be the same. Campaigns, date timer, October 27th. And then delay timers, they count based off of when the contact entered the sequence. So both Zach and Kelly entered this sequence today, so 7 days in the future for the delay timer is October 17th. Today is October 10th, so that is doing the math correctly. But if I change that to a 10-day delay, there we go. They're still waiting on that timer, right? It has not yet processed. It is in the future for them. So when I republish, it's going to then do the math. It's going to say, okay, they entered on October 10th. That's still true. But now it's telling us to wait 10 days. So it's going to reschedule that email for 10 days after they enter the sequence, which should be October 20th. So this was delay timer. If I refresh this page, we'll see that jump to October 20th. There it is for the delay timer, and that should also be the case for Kelly. Now, if they had entered this sequence on different days, this would work a little differently for them because it's based off of, that's October 20th. It's based off of their start date. So delay timers count on an individual basis based on how long they have been in the sequence, and then it schedules the step that point into the future. And obviously, if you had other timers after that and you're shifting accordion style, the shifting or contracting or expanding the dates, it would reschedule those steps. Okay, Cecily or anyone else following along, hopefully this helps and clarifies the behavior that when you are publishing campaigns, the steps in those sequences are going to be rescheduled at the time of publishing using the current date in date fields or using the current values of your different timers. And steps in the future that have not yet run will be scheduled for the new times. This happens if you either republish or if you remove the contact and re-add them, it reschedules those steps as well. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. Or if you have been given well-intentioned, misguided advice, hopefully this clarifies things and gets you on the right track. Take care.